We are back again with the original crew. Frank Cristiano, the voice of reason. We missed him last week.
Let me move over so my fat head can get in the
We had
screen on here.
two guests in his place, Erica Higgins and Jeff Larson, who did a great job.
Oh, that must have been a hoot.
It was. And of course, Coach Schumann, who was miserable throughout. Coach, great to see you.
I thought it was entertaining. I mean, you asked whose kindergarten teacher was, and
all
I wanted to get, me and Frank wanted to get to some real topics.
You can't. I was told
What's next week?
I was given
a special session from Congress that's going to allow us to talk to him next week.
I was given direct orders from his agents from how to do it. It's got to be 4 episodes.
68 episodes.
You shovel so much shit down people's throats with this stuff. Directions from agents. Direction from
you think that I'm...
What do you work for these people?
I'd like us to get paid. I think that I would do that.
Okay.
On episode 68. In episode 68 of Billy the Liquor Guy, we will learn about Billy's colostomy bag.
Dave, my father is one who helped him with his agents.
Here we are.
We're going by
we're expecting the agents to put a deal together now on episode 266.
Episode 266.
No, we're doing 4 episodes.
We will check with Billy's prostate exam and make sure that everything's functioning properly.
We're doing 4 episodes. I had to lay the foundation.
The prostate doctor said everything's all clear.
The finger worked.
I had to lay the groundwork for the good stuff.
The groundwork, which was like excavating for minerals in China. We were digging so deep.
All I asked was where you went to high school.
Holy shit! You did ask a lot more than that. I got a really good education on Billy.
Did we go through this last time? I knew he worked for garbage. He was a carpenter in the last episode.
I heard this like 6 times. I know Billy better than Billy knows Billy.
No, but we didn't know about the bar. We didn't know he worked for the bar.
He's like, the guy, I drove garbage truck through college. And, did you really know that? Like, yeah, and then later on, I drove garbage truck. And Steve's like, wow, did you really? 10 years you drove garbage truck?
Oh, yes. Yes, we went through this. What it was like going down Bleecker Street at 4:30 in the morning. What did you say? Well, I saw garbage.
I didn't know that he owned a bar. We didn't know that he joined because of 9/11. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
People didn't know that.
Yeah. No, that's great.
People didn't know that. I was just trying to.
I thought it was when he joined after it said 9/11. I'm like, they're hunting Arabs selling illegal cigarettes.
Yeah,
The
bodegas are on alert. Billy, the liquor guy, is coming in to bust all the bodega Arabs for selling cigarettes.
I see he's got Woodford Reserve. Let's see if that's actually his purchase.
That is illegal. That came over on a jet ski from Pittsburgh. He did say
jet skis on the ice in Canada.
Well, there are skidoos in the winter and jet skis in the summer. I asked him, I go, how many fucking cigarettes can you fit on a jet ski? 6. They're bringing over a 6-pack cigarettes.
Oh, he was serious, and he said if they fell in, they wouldn't rescue him.
I broke the ice.
I seized the car.
This could do, and the trailer full of cigarettes goes underwater. Save the cigarettes.
Dave, please tell me you didn't grab a drink. Just please tell me that.
How much were you upcharging the customers? Well, I know it's $25 in the liquor store. I did charge $18.99 to my friends.
I need a gate for the skidoo.
Please don't arrest me.
Oh, you guys are assholes.
This is going to be the greatest 79-part series we've ever done.
It's 4. I laid the groundwork.
I laid
the foundation.
You were laying duds.
On episode 300, Billy signs a deal as a cartoonist.
I laid the foundation.
I was looking at Dave through the camera, and I know we're looking at each other like, what the fuck?
What is going on?
We can't just start from
We
the,
talk
from
about
the middle.
anything. I was
Yes,
sleeping,
we
but I was
talked about a
awake.
lot. We talked about
That's why I jumped in. I'm like, Billy, let's jump right in. When did you start killing drunk transsexuals?
When's your first assignment?
Oh Jesus!
I laid the foundation.
Yeah.
We know what we did.
You're like
So,
his
Barry, when you
grandfather, the
wrestled at
bricklayer.
upstate, were there all males in the room, or were there?
Let me break down the
You know
four
what?
courses that I took.
You
at
guys
upstate.
are welcome to host it the next time and ask. You can ask any question you want.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
You know what?
You don't like my
you know what's
questions.
great, Steve? See, I know when somebody's instructed you with something because you're so serious, and you're.
Well, I'm trying to keep it on point from what they wanted. This is what they want. You can't start in the middle on a story.
I owned a bar.
You asked me if my father knew any nefarious characters growing up.
Well, I was trying to involve you.
I said there's only one I knew. My great grandfather.
Yeah,
he was
turned
a
on his
nefarious
captain.
character
What's
himself.
that movie? What's that movie with the minions?
He turned on his
The
captain.
nefarious.
Yes,
Did your father hang out with any nefarious characters?
I was trying to use big words to sound important.
My father was a phys ed teacher and a coach for 60 years.
His grandfather was a Filipino Jew collected for the mob in Warsaw, New York.
Not Filipino. That's his mother's
I'm
side.
gonna have to start making like some more embellishing great stories to keep up with these.
Oh my God, you could do so much.
Oh, you can do so much.
Moana was your cousin.
And Moana.
He said he's Indonesian, not Polynesian.
No, Polynesian.
Dave's not Polynesian.
Indonesia.
It's Indonesia.
It's
What?
next to
Another
Polynesia.
geography lesson, Steve.
Polynesian is the same as Indonesia.
Yeah,
No, it's not. But the Polynesia is the next out. As you keep going out, is the Polynesian islands.
Right.
But Indonesia is far. Is so far. It's below Philippines and China. Way
Singapore.
Okay.
Anyway, that's not here or there.
English. They speak English there.
I have to ask Frank because he didn't get a say on this. We had a big discussion about it last week.
Yeah.
The incident in Texas where the one kid murdered the other kid at a track meet.
Yeah.
And killed him, stabbed him to death. And there has been a ton of support for the assailant.
Yes.
He got his bail reduced. And then they did a GoFundMe, a crowdsourcing to raise money to fund his bail.
Correct.
He is now out on bail and gaining more support as we speak. He's using self-defense or the stand your ground law.
Yeah.
For in his defense.
I don't know. Number one, on murdering someone, I don't know how you get out on bail.
I don't think they charged him, Dave. I don't think they charged him with murder, though. Did they? Did they charge him with manslaughter?
No, he's.
I don't think he was charged with. It wasn't first degree, though. It was second degree, right?
Maybe it was a first degree. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how.
Carmelo Anthony, poor Carmelo Anthony, the basketball player, is going to change his name.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, I know.
K. Anthony. So
everyone's up in
number
arms
one. Number one. You got to break it down pretty simple. A kid's dead.
Exactly.
Okay? So there's a death involved. There's going to be jail time. If there's no jail time on this, then it's a travesty. Then something's got to be like. Now, how much jail time?
He's charged with first degree murder. With first degree murder.
First degree murder, and you got bail reduction.
Right.
Oh my God.
So my thing is that all the information has not been divulged to the public. Everyone is. I can't tell you how many social media feeds and live streams and people talking about this and the number two. What bothers me more than anything, it bothers me to no end. It's like the Shedeur Sanders thing. They throw in the race card.
Yeah,
automatic
racism was part.
They throw in the race card automatically with any situation between African American and white, African American and Jew, African. No matter what it is, they throw in the race card. Stop throwing the race card. Here's what happened. Probably an argument between the two kids. Probably a lot of pushing and shoving and some fisticuffs thrown. Probably some verbal threats. And then most likely, which is without a doubt, someone pulled out a knife and killed a kid.
Went to the next level.
So bottom line, that's what has to be looked at. That's what has to be broken down. Let the courts do it. Get all the information out there because we don't know all the information, and let the trial proceed and let's see where it goes. But for people to defend one side or the other,
someone was killed.
That's bottom line. That's what I'm just trying to point out. And that's so someone, I'm sure he will do time. How much time he does, that's dependent on how the case goes and the information that's out there. We don't know. That's all. People got to hold their water.
But the fact that
and then up next, Frank will talk about the time that he went to the mall.
You know, when I went to the mall back when I was 14, I was looking to purchase a samurai sword because I heard it could cut through watermelons with one swoop.
You know, he gave us a job that we can pull off in Rotterdam.
Yeah, I know. He told me that. I'll go grab all the liquor you want.
Dave, you got to drive out here. You're going to be the wheelman, and Frank and I are going to go rob the warehouse.
Those things. He did give us that information.
Yep.
Yeah. So the other thing that has come out, obviously, was basically the Abrigo Garcia situation, the man from El Salvador.
Abrego.
Yeah.
Do it like all the liberal media stations do. It's never
Abrego.
It's never Cesar Chavez. It would be Cesar Chavez.
Cesar Chavez.
All the liberal media outlets have to conform.
Yeah, they got to make the name sound more ethnic.
Right. How about, before you go into this, how about the Trump
administration? They don't go Frank Cristiano.
It's Cristiano Francesco. You got to take it backwards like Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo. So how about the Trump administration put the 100 posters of all the illegal immigrants that have caused major, deaths and rape and had major crimes along the entrance to the front lawn, where all the reporting news agencies have to film their breaking news. So as the cameras point towards the news broadcaster, all the posters in the background are showing the illegal aliens that have been arrested and have been killed, that have killed people and gone to jail or actually been deported. And now they're showing that all the liberal media outlets are blotting out the faces of those people on those posters. Right. Whereas Fox News just puts it up on all the ones. But every liberal media outlet is blotting out the faces.
Of course they would. Why would you expect anything less?
Of hardened, proven, tried criminals.
Yeah, but the liberal media doesn't care about crime.
But there are no more rights when you are in jail. You can be fingered out. You can be identified. You can be registered. You could all that. And again,
dude, in Massachusetts, they're trying to get it so prisoners can vote.
Yeah, I think.
How about that?
I think once you are in jail, you lose all your rights.
You do. You can't vote.
Lose all your correct, and that should stay that way. I'm lost at this. I don't understand the mentality of going to the extreme. And again, I tell you why they go to this extreme. It's one man, and it's Donald Trump. If it was a different president,
none of this would happen.
No. It wouldn't be to the extreme. They would call shit out and all that. But these are the same people. They're saying how, oh my God, ICE is just coming in and raiding, and the FBI is doing this, and the Department of Justice is doing all these illegal things. Well, let's see what happened when the Democrats were in charge, and the Department of Justice, and the FBI were weaponized against parents who were against certain teachings in schools, against anti-abortion people, Christians who were protesting. The FBI and the DOJ were weaponized against these people to be able to bring them to court, prosecute them, and put them in jail.
Right.
So the hypocrisy again, all I know is this. I know everyone lies in one way or another, whether Republican or Democrat, but the Democratic...
I don't lie.
The Democratic... any Democratic follower are blinded by lies. The lies are so thick and so heavy that it's like when you wake up in the morning, you have crusty eye and you can't see straight. That's bottom line how everyone is guided. Any people that are protesting to bring back a guy who was basically tried in court and who is an abuser, that's got to be proven. But I think without a doubt they're correct. But that's going to be, but who is an abuser of females, who's a batterer of women, right? And they want to bring this guy back. And we sent him to his homeland. People are like, oh my God, you sent him to El Salvador, the worst prison in the world. Well,
They sent him to die, they said. The Democrats said.
He's an El Salvadorian.
Yeah.
He's an El Salvadorian. He's a criminal.
Yeah.
So for them to back this person, you know that number one, the Democratic Party is desperate, Dave.
He's
the
a
Democratic
violent
Party,
white cheater.
this Democratic Party is desperate. They are desperate to grasp onto something. Today, Hakeem Jeffries and who's the other clown there from Jersey? The senator,
Cory Booker.
No, that's right, Cory Booker. They were both on the steps of the Capitol. They did a 12-hour sit-in to draw attention.
Care?
Yeah, a few other people came up and they sang songs. How about the Jewish people are going there and they're singing songs of praise when the Democratic Party are backing the protesters on these college campuses
that
are protesting against Israel and against Jews and are threatening them. They just had another incident. I don't know what the campus is. I don't know what school it was. They had an incident where 11 Jews were in the library and had to lock themselves in the library because the pro-Palestinian protesters were there trying to bust through the doors with 2x4s and flags and they were threatening them with physical violence.
Normal, just white kids,
and they let it go right.
Yeah,
and they I know with kiffas with the towel around their head or their neck. Now here's the thing, it bothers me to no end. And then these colleges wonder why the government wants to cut off their funding. Yep. They say that they're not protecting Jewish students. I had a little tit for tat online with a professor from Columbia.
Really?
She went on and she went on there and she said that I can't believe, I'm here protecting, I'm trying to protect the college from being, absolved from the government. I'm trying to protect the students. I go, so you're saying that you're protecting the Jewish students from harassment and violence? I think she goes, oh yes, without a doubt, I'm protecting Jewish students, all of them. I said, well, congratulations, good luck, which was total bullshit. Yeah, because I know it's bullshit. They're not out there. There's no way any of these professors, maybe the Jewish professors are out there. There are a few Jewish professors I see, but I don't see any of these other professors out there sticking their neck out in front, holding these people back and saying, hey, listen, it's wrong what you're doing. You want to protest, get a permit, go over to the park, put your picket signs there and be peaceful. And it's not happening. And so you know what? Good for the government pulling the funding. Good. And now everyone's suing. Oh, the colleges are suing the government. The Democratic governors are all getting together and suing the government as well because of these illegal things that Trump's are funding. Because of the tariffs.
Oh, that too.
Expose the bullshit.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, like
100%.
It's time to expose the complete bullshit lies that these people perpetuate. And like listen, when there's racism against black people, I'd be the first person to call it out. The same way that you have to be willing to call it out if there's anti-Semitism or people that are going after white people about things. None of that is correct. Now, it happens to be that the world has gone into this strange a way where everything has to be everything has to be a situation that like any person that looks white or is deemed a colonizer is the you know what I'm saying, Frank? Is deemed a colonizer is the problem. So it's basically whites, Christians, Jews, all these groups are deemed as colonizers.
Yeah, the old John Henry Cristiano was a big-time colonizer back here in the States 150 years ago. Yeah, us guineas, we were out there on the train tracks hammering in fucking rail lines, and we were colonizing.
I mean, it's so ridiculous. What about like the Irish that were working the rail lines for many, who came over as indentured servants, right? So it's one of these things that it's like the exact thing that you want to eradicate, you're perpetuating. And by perpetuating it, you're eliminating the chance of ever eradicating it, because you just continue to pit. No one says I don't know. I know almost nobody who believes that being racist towards, are there racists? Yes, there are racists out there, but being racist towards black people is a good thing. That slavery was a good thing. Nobody believes those things. 99% of people do not believe those things. So the fact that these things are continually perpetuated as the thought processes of the colonizing peoples. It's so ridiculous. It's such nonsense.
I know it's a political show, but Dave, NFL draft, Shedeur Sanders situation.
Well, it was racist.
Do you know how many people went online and said it was racist?
His number one pick is black.
70, and he's a quarterback, same position. 76 of the first 80 picks were African Americans.
That's so. I didn't even know that. But that's. I mean, come on.
Well, even Trump posted it. Trump posted it was racism.
It was.
I don't know if he posted it was racism.
He posted it on Twitter.
No, he posted that it was unfair because he thinks that he's a good athlete.
No. Do I think that
other people said
that on the sports side of it? Obviously, he went in there and interviewed poorly.
Yes.
And then that communication came around. So
because they all talk.
I worked as an NFL agent. Every guy knows every other guy. He
doesn't have an agent either. He doesn't have an agent.
You don't know that until you're in that world. It's just like, sports administrators probably
the
all
mafia,
right?
Yeah.
It's a small select group of people that are in that world.
Communicate, yes.
It's $1 billion, multi-billions dollar
right, but they share information.
But the people that are in that world is a much. Yeah, they all hire each other. Yeah. They all work with each other at some point. So
it's like, hey, what do you think of this guy? Hey, how'd he do for you?
Exactly. Yeah. They share information. Listen, they should share with agents. Hey, who is he talking to? Oh, he's talking to who'd you talk to over there? Oh, okay. Like they'll go talk to that guy about someone and see if you were correct in what you were saying. So the bottom line is this: sports wise, was Shedeur ability wise higher than a 5th round pick?
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah.
Okay, but the issue was not that. So now
Frank will tell you the story.
Brian Daboll. So Ian Rappaport came out with a report. So Daboll, when they brought in Sanders for the interview, pre-interview, they gave him
install.
They gave him an install package pre-interview, and they wanted him to be able to come in and explain it when he came in.
Show us how.
So either he didn't do it or he didn't understand or whatever. So he just couldn't do it. And Daboll called him out as not being prepared. And Shedeur Sanders, I guess, lost his shit.
Was snotty back.
It was bad back to him, and that was it. And then Daboll cut the interview a little short.
They sent him
home. And then I'm sure that the Pony Express got to all the other 31 NFL teams. And here's what you have. And also, if you go back on interviews and you look at Deion Sanders a few years back, he was like, hey, I like the things that Cleveland's doing, but if I were a quarterback or if I were a player, I wouldn't go to Cleveland. I would pull Eli Manning. Right.
Deion did that himself when he was coming out. He said, I won't go to this team or that team when they wanted to. He talks about it. He talked about it. Like if you pull up videos when he was coming out, several years ago, he said, when the Giants wanted me to come in, they wanted me to do this whole psychology profile. And I said, I'm not doing that. He said, what pick do you have? Number 10. Oh, I should be gone before that. Well, as a cornerback, and his talent was so high.
Right.
This is what people don't realize. Like Shedeur is a pro quarterback, but he's not a slam dunk.
I thought they padded his stats.
Himself was a slam dunk as a cornerback. What does a cornerback have to do? You really don't give a shit if he's a pain in the ass as long as he covers the guy that's in front of him.
Exactly.
If he doesn't cover the guy that's in front of him and he's a pain in the ass, he's gone.
Well, Dave, they padded Shedeur's stats, in my opinion, for sure. The offensive coordinator and Deion padded his stats as far as yards.
I don't
touchdowns.
know. I can't call that.
He took sacks.
I watched a lot of Shedeur's games.
They had no running game.
My son loved Shedeur. Okay. Yeah. Of course, now that he's now not on his team, the Jets, he does not like him anymore. But he liked, because he obviously watches some social media. He liked the whole Colorado thing, and he liked
college football.
So he'd make me watch like almost every game we watched, and I watched him, and I was actually impressed with some of the playmaking he made because I don't like how he, he's always trying to buy time and running around. but he would make some plays that I was like, he's pretty good. Like, he's good. So I do think he's very good. I do think he's a pro, potentially, because people don't realize how hard it is to stick in the pros as a quarterback.
Yeah.
But like, he has the ability to be a pro. You know, I would never ever, as a GM or a scout, or an owner, if a player came in as a quarterback, that position, quarterback, came in, wasn't prepared, had an attitude, I would think, how is he going to lead my team? And when that
100%, you're leading men.
You have a problem, right? And these are men. These are 30-year-old men with kids and wives.
You're talking to in
Dave,
the huddle.
NFL teams are in the business of winning.
Correct.
And if a team in the first round needed a quarterback, they would, at all risk possible, take a quarterback unless something was wrong.
Correct.
And then the bells and whistles must have gone off with this guy. You know, he's in the fifth round. He's with Cleveland. Good for him. He's going to have a lot of competition because bottom line, somebody's getting cut in that Cleveland in that trial.
And they've already paid,
and maybe he needed a little bit. It's like people are like, oh, they purposely humbled him. I don't know. I don't think anyone purposely humbled him. I think it became a process of not that they consciously humbled him. They said, hey, I don't know if we want to deal with this. And you know what? If he takes it the right way and he decides, you know what, this is the time that I'm going to have to cut the umbilical cord here. Yeah. It's the time. I'm going to have to figure out how to do this on my own. Obviously, you still have your dad. You still love your dad, all those things. But I'm going to have to figure out how to do this on my own if I'm going to have a chance to make it in the NFL. Because in the fifth round, and Steve, you noticed because you played. Yeah. You played in your fifth round is no guarantee to make it. Those guys get cut if they don't do the job. Sixth and seventh round definitely get cut.
Yeah.
What?
One of them's going to, Gabriel or Shador. One of them will be probably put on the practice squad, and another one will stay active.
Oh, they might trade. They might trade and get like a cheap.
Well, it all comes down to what happens with the Deshaun Watson.
He's not playing.
Well, no, he's not playing. He's out.
They didn't say for sure he's out.
He's not playing.
Out. He's not playing.
Why don't you think he's playing?
He is not playing. He will not.
I know
number one, he's still not healthy.
No, he's
number
not.
Two, the owner of the Browns came out and apologized to the world,
saying that he made a mistake.
The world,
yeah,
and so he's not going to put that guy in the field.
But he's paying him $176.
Doesn't matter. It's done. It's a loss. You write it off as a loss.
So you're saying that he will never take the field?
I was saying with Cleveland, he will never take the field again.
Okay, I
never
agree with that.
Never. I don't think he's going to take the field with anybody again. I think he's done. Him and Kaepernick can go work out and get ready for the 2076 draft.
I mean, he's uber rich. Like, he's uber rich. He's going to need that money to pay.
You're right.
Go get massaged every day.
You're right.
Hey, listen, good for him. I wish I was him.
You're right.
Great.
So the other thing going around was obviously the attacking of Teslas, because people are upset at Elon Musk and what he's been doing with Doge.
Yeah.
There was a Tesla cyber strike, torched. A Tesla was torched at a dealership, an attack on a dealership, and there was a one-word message left. Isn't this going a little too far with attacking? You're attacking Elon Musk.
Yeah, you're
attacking Teslas. Now we're putting bombs in them.
People are led by blindness. Okay? They're letting media lead them, because it's not like the average Joe's waking up and going, man, I gotta go scratch a Tesla. They're basically getting their online information from people that they follow or news agents that they follow, and then they're making that choice after being pressured after a while in their brain, looking at it, go, it's Pavlov's dog. They're like, oh my God, you know what? I gotta go scratch up a Tesla, because that would be the way to save democracy.
Yeah, of course.
And that's the angle that to me is just idiotic. Number one, most of the people that are driving Teslas, I would think, are the tree hugger liberals that want to save the environment and want to drive an electric car because the carbon footprint is going to sink this country in 10 years. Oh no, that was 10 years ago. Oh no, wait, that was 10 years ago. It's supposed to another 10 years ago. It was supposed to happen throughout others with this carbon footprint. So you're really vandalizing the people that are supporting the causes that you support. But you're taking out on those people because the guy that the genius that created this whole thing, unfortunately, is going through and taking all the money away that was going to those, I should say, grooming programs that were established by this government in the last 4 years. I'm sure some have been going on longer than 4 years, but most of them, anything that has to do with LGBTQ education or support in third world countries, to me, has been established within the last 4 years. And so an eradication of that by DOGE has probably been the best thing that could happen to this country. It'll be the best thing to happen to our budget. And if you're out there taking violence against Elon Musk because of this, then you're not a rational American. You're, again, reacting to media pressure.
No, of course.
The only thing that was valid for Tesla shareholders is that they wanted Elon to come back and run the company because his time with Doge. I mean, I think that's valid as a shareholder to be like, hey,
sure.
Like without you around, it's kind of, not the same, right? It's just like without Bill Gates or without for a long time or without Steve Jobs, those companies until they got to a certain point, and his company's still at a point, even though they're incredibly worth a lot of money, they're still at an inflection point where they have to get over the hump of really getting into mass market from the standpoint. They're not quite there yet, and they probably do need Elon's help from that standpoint. And the carbon footprint thing, could it be possible that when smoke goes into the air, that eventually it just dissipates? Is that possible?
No, there's a shield around this Earth, and it holds everything in, and that's why we have global warming.
Oh, so what you're saying is that we're in a simulation, like a Truman Show, and
we're in the Matrix.
And what really happens is we're in, like, what do they call those things? Not a velodrome, some sort of like a capped community, and so
it's blowing holes in the ozone layer, Dave.
Yes, the ozone. Yes, the ozone layer. How about the fact that smoke goes in the air, it goes, and then eventually it dissipates.
Yeah.
And then eventually it's particles that get minimized, so it's so small that it completely dissipates into space, which is vast and infinite.
Yes.
Except cow farts, Dave. Cow farts are destroying the ozone layer. And that's where the sun comes in, breaks through the ozone that protects us, and causes global warming.
No, I wanted to
eat. You know how you handle that? You eat more beef.
I wanted to ask you this because
unless you're a Chick-fil-A commercial,
I love that commercial. That's right. Eat more beef. Eat more beef.
The Dems are pretty up in arms and concerned that Trump could write an executive order or get Congress to pass a bill that he could run for another term.
Yeah.
Do you believe that's possible?
That won't happen.
There's no way that's going to happen.
I don't believe that.
Precedent's been set.
That's been set. Even the staunchest of Republicans,
they don't want to.
It happened one time, and that was
right.
FDR.
Right.
Yeah.
And do you think they want to open up that possibility to a Democrat being able to run for 3 times?
No. That's why I'm asking.
Absolutely not. Not going to happen.
So you think the Republicans are content with 4 years of Trump?
Yes, because realistically, I'd say 40% of the Republicans there don't really like Trump.
Right. He's just setting the
they're there and they're supporting the bills because bottom line, they don't want to lose their jobs. Because when the next voting cycle comes around,
40% don't like him.
Yeah, about 4 out of 10, I think, don't really like Trump.
Wow.
Yeah, but they're there and they're supporting him because I'm sure
their job and they're just trying to get
Speaker of the House and the more respected senators in Congress are rallying their Republicans to be, hey, listen, we got to vote Republican or else these things won't get passed. Now, number 2, I just think they're obviously scared because when the midterm cycles come around and they don't support President Trump, Trump's going to go out there in a tirade and have him voted out in 2 seconds by all the MAGA followers.
Yeah, he doesn't have a lot of patience for that.
No, he shouldn't. He shouldn't.
Yeah, you're either with him or you're against.
Exactly. Yeah. Just like Rebel Republic. You're either with us or
with us.
Yeah, exactly.
Dave, what about you? I mean, do you think that it's possible that he could get another term?
No.
You think for sure he's gone after 4 years?
You're allowed to serve 2 terms.
Right, but I'm saying like he could write a law, executive order, or get Congress to pass a bill saying that he could serve another term.
No.
Okay. I was just curious because the Dems are obviously very concerned about that he could try to force his way in to stay, and they don't really have a candidate to go against him.
They have nothing right now.
They have nothing right now.
They're at the bottom of the barrel. They are searching. They're pinning their hopes.
If you want to find
now.
the next current candidate, go to New York City, look for someone with pink hair, and that's who they're running.
That's who they'll get all the votes.
Who's that lady? Who's the lady that has the blue hair? And is she from Texas? She's a congresswoman,
and she has blue
in the House. Yeah, she has blue hair. She's a little older. She's like in her 60s. Big nose and blue hair. I can't remember her name. I think she's from Texas though. So yeah, that wouldn't be from New York. That's okay. I'm sorry. I was thinking of.
No, I'm not sure. I'm curious. Oh, that I could probably look pretty quickly.
Yeah. She was very vocal.
Senator or congressperson?
She's a congressperson, and she's in the House. And
Rosa DeLauro.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Rosa DeLauro.
I think that's it.
Good job, Steve. That was quick.
Yeah. She's from Warsaw.
Yeah, she wears some interesting glasses. I knew. I got to get those glasses.
Warsaw, Texas.
Steve's like, where's Auschwitz? Bolivia?
I had no idea Auschwitz was in Poland.
They were shipping the Jews to Bolivia?
I had no idea it was in Poland. I thought it was in Germany.
Yes. No,
how was I supposed to know? I was in Germany. I kept asking, how do I visit Auschwitz?
You kept asking, where's Auschwitz? Where's Auschwitz?
I guess I know why.
I'm sure in Germany they're pretty sensitive about it. So they
probably they're very sensitive. Very sensitive about it.
Hey, you guys want to go out for some chicken wings? And where's Auschwitz?
I did ask that. I go, where's Auschwitz? And
I can't even imagine you in Europe. I'm trying to imagine it. It's just I was
in Germany.
I almost wound up in Austria.
In Germany. Hey, where are all the Jews in Germany? I just want to find where are all the Jews.
There are no more anymore.
I have a piece of the Berlin Wall.
They left.
I have a piece of the Berlin Wall.
They left. There was a thing that happened and they left.
So realistically then, who would run on the Democrat side?
Right now, they're pinning their hopes on this
Kamala,
Bernie Sanders, and AOC.
Bernie Sanders,
Bernie Sanders, is he too old?
He's 82. Well, we can the Bernies. It's times 2 now with Joe Biden. We're going to go right to Bernie. We need the real Bernie.
Is AOC going to run?
Well, I think I don't know.
AI is going to run.
I don't know AOC. I don't know. It all depends. It all depends on the longevity of this whole going on tour thing. I think people realize, I think even Democrats realize that the thought process that she has is too far to the left, and it won't fit with the mainstream of the country. It's just too much of taking from the federal government. In other words, they want program after program after program after program. It's not going to work. They can't function that way.
Who do they even have that could
Who's AOC?
You're joking, right?
Yeah, I have no idea.
You don't know who AOC is?
No.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
I've never heard of her.
Never heard of her too. Okay.
Is she someone?
Heard of that? You're kidding, right?
I'm not kidding. No.
You don't know who AOC Alexandria Ocasio?
Why would I know who she is?
Because this is a political podcast.
Well, what?
She's a congresswoman from New York, from the Bronx.
What, people like her?
Certain people.
Yeah, I mean, why would I care? She doesn't affect my life.
You might be able to get a date with her, maybe.
Yes.
She has a boyfriend.
She's like, I think she's 30, right? Is she 30
she's that young?
She's
28 or 30.
They were that stupid to elect a 28-year-old congresswoman.
I think. Oh yeah.
I think they elected her.
I think they elected her when she was 26 or 27. So I think she's 30, or maybe she's 32. I might be wrong.
So how long does Mayor Galini have here? 6 years?
Yeah, she was a bartester. Yeah.
She's 35.
Wow, I'm way off. She's in your wheelhouse.
Mayor Galini have 6 years?
I would tell her when life gives you lemons.
Yeah.
Don't make lemonade.
Lemon juice.
Suck on my melons.
Yeah.
That's what you should say. Yeah.
But How long
you
does
don't want to be a leftist anyway? So I mean,
no, I'm not. How long does Galini?
Galini, it's for mayor.
Yeah,
I don't know, 3 more years. Maybe?
Yeah, so I want to run for mayor.
You want to run for mayor of Utica?
What do I need to do?
Move to Utica.
Oh, wait,
you live in New Hartford.
Oh, okay. So if I move to
mayor
Utica,
of Hartford.
We don't have
a mayor. Town supervisor. Yeah, town supervisor.
Who's our town supervisor?
Yeah, it's Paul
Buckley.
No, Paul Buckley. Oh my, Michonne. Paul Michonne.
Oh, okay. No, I want to run for something. I think I could win. I want to run against Claudia Tenney. Can I beat her?
Oh, of course. Claudia Tenney.
Yeah.
She just flew to El Salvador. She just went to El Salvador to check on the prison
bring him back.
No, not to bring him back. To make sure that they stayed there.
Oh, because she's a Republican.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. She just went to make sure things were locked
Disney
out.
wasn't a Republican.
Disney was a Democrat.
Yeah.
You should run in Worcester.
I don't live.
I would love to
run in Worcester.
Run the town council meeting there.
Dave,
I think that would be right in your wheelhouse. You would run the town council meeting. And you would have the gavel, and when
Precious gets up there,
yes,
I love that when
General Zod comes up and starts shouting, you'll be like, "Yes, General Zod, you're up," and I'll be like, "What? I'm not General Zod." Well, that's what you look like.
Yeah, well, I was just curious. So, who do we have on the Republican side that we're going to go with? Do we have a cold hard replacement ready for Trump?
Yeah, JD Vance would be my immediate replacement. They go
right to JD Vance.
I would think it would be JD Vance leading the way. I'm sure Marco Rubio probably throws his hat in the ring there.
He has the last 3 times.
Florida governor again back in there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so too, without a doubt. So you got 3 or 4 strong Republican candidates. But I think
they're working on this now.
But you got to look at it now. They can't work on anything right now because they need success right now in the policies that Trump has implemented.
So they can use that to their advantage.
If the tariff deals are signed, okay, and they're lock, stock, and barrel, and it looks like a win-win for the U.S. economy and the U.S. trade deficit. And immigration, we already know, has been taken care of, illegal immigration, because the numbers are in, and in 3 months, around 3 months, a little over 3 months, the illegal immigrant entry into this country has decreased by 96%.
Wow.
That means only 4 out of every 100 that are trying to get across the northern or southern border are getting in. So number one, that's an incredible number. You have to look at that and you have to say right off the bat to the Democrats, you have to say, fuck you. Because bottom line, you were lying all along. There is a way to do it. It does happen to be legal, and there are consequences to people doing this. They open up the borders and they just allow everyone to come in because they're looking for extra votes. They're looking to fund these people. And once you fund somebody and you feed them, they are basically on your payroll. So the Democrats were garnishing more and more voters by allowing illegal entry and allowing comfort payments to go to these people coming across the border. Number two, when you look at it, I think that if there is success in this Trump administration with these things, and if we do get a lower inflation, if fuel costs cheapen, if food costs cheapen a little bit, so I don't think housing is going to cheapen again. It's insane right now what the housing costs are.
Yes,
but bottom line, if there is some relief on monetary pressure on families in this country, I think you're going to see JD Vance be looked at in a good light for the elections in 2028. Yeah, if there's a lot of problems, then you're going to see Rubio come in. You're going to see what's his name out of Florida come in. I apologize. Thank you, DeSantis come in.
I like DeSantis.
Yeah, I think DeSantis is a solid choice too. I think he's done wonders with Florida.
But he bowed out pretty quick from the election.
You know what? The numbers.
He knew he didn't have a chance.
Being in a political race, the numbers game is so big.
Yeah,
these guys they can't wait it out, right? They can't wait it out because their finances get drained, all their resources get drained. Big donors pull out once they see the numbers aren't swaying the right way.
Yeah.
So when Trump came in there and crushed the numbers in the first month, it was over for almost all of them.
Yeah,
right.
Okay.
Yeah,
the writing was on the wall.
Sure.
You mentioned Shedeur Sanders, and it's funny because on ESPN, analyst Damian Woody, he's on Get Up.
He's good.
he immediately said that the race card had nothing to do with it.
Correct.
He said the race card had nothing to do with it.
Correct.
He said the NFL talks to everyone out there. They talk to other teams, just like we talked about, and they know what they know. And they got information on him.
The Steelers needed a quarterback. They're going in right now. I mean,
they're going to sign Aaron Rodgers.
Most likely, but you don't know. But most likely, but they backed themselves into the Aaron Rodgers game because they didn't want to take a gamble on Sanders because of what they've seen and heard.
Well, it's because of allegedly his celebrity status. I mean, he's driving a Lamborghini or a Rolls Royce to practice. He's making all this NIL money.
All these quarterbacks. Cam Ward, you don't think Cam Ward made a couple million?
I think
not as much as Shador.
And how he came across the interview, I think
he interviewed horribly on purpose with some teams. The teams that he didn't want to go to.
I think that gets around. I
just in the Shrine game.
I remember when I represented a player. I've represented players that had baggage before. Okay, when I represented players that had baggage, it was very, very difficult.
Challenging, yeah.
Very, very difficult. And now I represented guys that were latent. Like when I represented guys that were baggage, I would represent a guy that was like a 4-star in high school, superstar, who then kind of played but had fallen out of favor because of the baggage.
In college.
They would barely sign a contract. I'm telling you, like, these were really good players. And then when they would get in there, they would stick around for a little while, but a lot of times, invariably, they would shoot themselves.
Was it just their mindset that they thought they were better than they were?
I mean, like criminal activity sometimes, like
NFL teams, the worst thing that can happen,
nothing heavy, but like
worst thing that can happen is locker room poison.
Yeah,
that's the worst thing that can happen, right? So if that's then they're going to get rid of it. These teams aren't dumb. I mean, they're not successful because some of the upper management are stupid.
Well, you mentioned that,
yeah, without a doubt. But they're not totally dumb. They understand.
Didn't get it wrong here.
You can't bring COVID into the locker room. Right. It's going to kill some guys.
Right. So I mean,
guys, you got to remember, we all played football. There are guys that are easily influenced by some of the cancer guys.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
Like toxic environments. There are guys that get swayed. Bad practice. Something goes wrong. They now pull 3 or 4 guys that had a rough day with them down.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they blame other aspects on why they had a bad practice.
They're not like the average NFL player is a lot smarter than the average football player because there are more things they have to know.
Correct.
But you're not talking. A lot of times, you're not talking about geniuses here. So you get a guy that is talking and he's a problem. He brings a handful of guys. That's the end of your locker room. Your team stinks. That's the bottom line right away.
Remember the Bugs Bunny cartoon when it was like there's the dog Butch, big burly bulldog, and then he had his little buddy there. Hey Butch, what are you gonna do? Hey Butch. Those are the guys that follow one malcontent in the locker room, and it just creates fucking chaos.
So Dave, do you think that his decision not to work out at the combine, not to play in the Senior Bowl,
I thought all that stuff was a mistake. I thought it was
you would not have advised him.
The Senior Bowl thing, I could go either way on that, but as far as because there's pros and cons to playing in an All-Star game, if you were quote unquote at the time rated that high,
but
you should have did the combine. You didn't. You should have done the at least the throwing part.
But Dave, don't you agree that the interaction with the coaches on the Senior Bowl and interaction with the coaches that are running the combine is huge?
And that killed him.
Right. It didn't have any of that. All he had was his pro day when they went over there and saw him throw a few balls, and that was it.
And he had one workout.
They're not robots, these people. They want to know the person that they're drafting. You know?
It's a marriage. It's a marriage. You want to know in the long term what you're getting.
And he's getting paid less in the pros than he's getting paid in college.
He is now,
which is absolutely insane. So at least, I mean, he came out and he said racism did not play a card.
Shador said that?
No, Damian Woody from ESPN Get Up said that.
When I saw Stephen A. Smith nonsense, and I saw
well, Mel Kiper was the one that drove me nuts. Mel Kiper advocated for him like he was his agent. Said he was disgusted that the NFL got this wrong. This kid's going to be a star and all this and that. He said that on, I think, day 2. He couldn't believe that he wasn't taken the first day. Like, why is Mel Kiper?
That's the same guy that thought Jimmy Clausen was going to be a superstar.
He did.
You know what I mean? Come on. Now these guys, they're just analysts.
But
Mel's been doing it for a long time. He's got the shtick down. He's made his money. He's made his name.
But he's supposed to be an independent analyst,
right? But
there's no.
I can understand him being pissed or being shocked.
Yeah,
because bottom line, for a guy to drop that far in maybe 2 weeks, I would say the 2 to 3 weeks, Sanders just dropped off the face of the chart. And it was all whispers. And,
he started going downhill. Yes,
right, it was all whispers, right? And then all of a sudden, come draft day, they're like, and now next thing you know, he's being drafted that low. So I just, Kuiper's got a reason to gripe and to say about it, but for him to talk about like he's the deciding factor, I said, fuck, please stop.
So Dave, this is not necessarily in your neck of the woods, but
strippers.
It's been buzzing here in New York about our favorite Democratic senator leader, Chuck Schumer. He is staying in power as the minority leader of the Democratic Party for the next at least 100 days. Chuck Schumer is
Schmucky Schumer, I call him.
Yeah, he's very well hated in the state, and there's been calls for him.
He's very well liked. He gets voted in. He's very well liked
every year. I know it's crazy, but people generally around here hate him. And he's been.
You're upstate. You're upstate.
Yes. People. He's been in office 72 years. He's had so many terms, and it's been absolutely insane that he is still the minority leader of the Senate. But Frank, I mean, a lot of people think it's pathetic that he won't step down voluntarily because he's been there so long. They don't believe that he's gotten enough done. They think his time is up. He is refusing to, and he says he's going to stick it out throughout the Trump term.
Sure.
Do you think that he should step down? Do you think that it's time for a change?
Nancy Pelosi pulled the same thing.
Yep, I remember that.
Basically, Nancy Pelosi, she got out on her terms.
Right.
AOC wanted her out.
Right.
They want all those people.
Nancy was like, get the fuck out of here.
Exactly.
You don't got any real power. I have the real power.
Exactly.
The same way in the Democrat Party. He's got really more of the power.
He's got a voice and he does have the power. So do you think that he's right to stay in this position? Do you think he's going to make a difference in this position?
I don't think anyone they would put in the leadership position right now would make a difference because I think the party is scattered. So the Democratic Party has so many different factions that are afraid to get together. They used to be pretty good at sticking together
as a group.
I think this Trump election win has just reverberated panic and fear in the party. So they can't all align because they all have vested different interests as how they want the country to be directed. There are the radical ones, there are the middle of the road ones, and there are the conservative Democrats. And they can't come together. What they can come together on.
There are conservative Democrats?
There are, absolutely. There are conservative Democrats.
I don't know any.
Absolutely. But what is they can't come together because the only thing they come together on is the hatred of Trump.
Right.
But the hatred of Trump doesn't feed enough. There are no policies that are against the hatred of Trump.
No. They just hate the person.
Somebody prove me this. Give me this one. The Democrats keep saying that Trump will get rid of in his budget of Medicare.
Yeah, that's been a big fear.
They're going to slash or cut or get rid of Medicare.
Yes, that's a big fear. Yes.
Find me that in the budget.
Yeah.
Find me that line item in the budget.
I've never heard that mentioned by him.
Find me that rule of law that's happening when that gets passed. Please bring information to me on paper that says that they will cut Medicare. Because you know why? It's not happening. And these are the things that the Democrats spark up with false information to rile up the people.
Yes.
And they're riling up these people to a lather. They're foaming at the mouth saying, how dare you take it with this? Just like tariffs. Okay. Tariff is a tax. That's correct. I think that's a correct statement in a way. But bottom line, who has been directly affected as a consumer by the tariffs that have been just implemented? Tell me what you have purchased that has taken a huge spike in cost, please. Anything.
Right. No.
Tell me
it's all BS.
What have you now? Well, in 3 months' time, you could see a spike without a doubt because inventories will run out for these major corporations and they have to repurchase new inventories.
But
okay?
the tariffs were put in place initially just to get these countries to come to the table and have a discussion. I don't think he meant the exact number of the tariff.
In theory, yes. But bottom line, the tariffs were dropped, and if they don't come to the negotiating,
correct,
you have to realize something.
Yes,
the GDP of this country is the largest in the world. We do not with China.
What's the GDP?
Gross domestic product.
Okay.
So in other words, we purchase more shit than any other country in the world.
We do.
We do.
We import more?
We import much more than we export.
Wow.
And that's the problem. That's why we're trying to renegotiate with these countries because these countries won't allow us to export or we cannot export because their tariffs are so high on us.
Oh.
So in other words,
so we flipped the switch.
We're what we're doing is we're trying to get more of a balance.
Right.
And people don't see that. This is actually, it's a genius move by Trump.
Right.
Because let's put it this way. Canada and Mexico, basically 35% of everything they sell is sold to the United States.
Jesus.
Those are
everything they sell goes to Canada or Mexico?
No,
or the United States.
Us. Canada or Mexico. It's like 35. Actually, I apologize. That number may be more. I think Canada's GDP is like 35%, 25%, or the number 25 comes directly to us. So we're the largest purchaser of Canadian product. We're the largest purchaser of Mexican product.
And we could just take over Canada if we wanted.
We're probably the largest purchaser of Chinese products. So bottom line,
definitely are. That's why China has to be careful.
Right. And that's why the tariffs are so high right now, 145%. That's crazy. So bottom line, when you're looking at it, if we cut off and we don't buy from these countries have nowhere to sell their product. Who's going to buy all that product? No one.
We're the number one consumers of the world in the world.
Exactly. And so Trump knows that. He knows the numbers are way upside down. He knows that if we increase these numbers, number one, more companies will come back to the United States and establish factories here and establish production here. Okay. And that's better for the economy, better for the average American worker. It's better overall for all of us in here that we make more stuff. We insulate ourselves. Plus, we protect ourselves because if all our technology is being made overseas, we're at a security risk. I mean, there's no way to protect our integrity of product and security by companies doing all their business overseas. So there are tons of different advantages and angles that are taking place with these tariffs being put in. You do need time. They are going country by country. I watched a few interviews today with Scott Bessent, who is what's his position I don't know, not the Treasury Secretary, I think maybe. But bottom line, his group is negotiating deal for deal with every country in the world right now as far as trade. And when those numbers come in more balanced, you're going to see a definite change in the positive feelings of this country economically. And that's going to be huge for the Trump administration. He can point out win after win after win. It's here's what we've done, man. Here's all the money we're bringing in. Here's how much more we're gaining. Here's the companies that are coming back in. Here's all the jobs we're producing.
Right.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with feeling good in this country about that?
Yeah. No, I agree. Dave, do you feel the same about the tariff situation?
I think the tariff situation is has to be approached with a way that we're constantly evaluating it because we got to see where it goes economically. I think that America is obviously the number one consumer of goods in the world. So I agree with Frank on that. That's something that every one of these countries has to be aware of. So if they do go through with reciprocal tariffs and upping the ante, the group that's really going to lose out in the long run is probably going to be them. So, but but it's a thing that we got to manage to see what the economy is doing alongside of this. And, look, at first the stock market tanked. Now it's come back.
Yes, it's rebounding, as Trump said it would.
Right. And so it's China, I think, is the big key aspect of all of this. How much do they value the American consumer, and how much do they think the American consumer is worth to them? Meaning, is it worth it for them to tariff the American consumer who pays for their cheap goods at a level that no one else does? I mean, just look at Amazon, just look at any of these other sites, all these Chinese companies that you're buying stuff from. The American public puts, really, the truth is, they put a lot of trust in, even though their products are usually a little bit more cheaply made, lower cost, they put a lot of trust in the Chinese products. So it really is a big mistake for them to up the ante over the long run, because the group that really gets hurt is them. It's not like we're selling a majority of our stuff to China. It doesn't really go the other way around. So as much. So, I mean, I think that's something they have to be learned of. A lot of the other countries that we've done tariffs on, for the most part, we have some level of control over, as far as like they don't have anywhere near the buying power that we do. So, in the long run, they're all going to have to either cave or be willing to part with a gigantic amount of their revenue. And I don't think that many governments are going to do it. There may be a few that will, but I don't think there's that many that are gonna just not cave at some point to what some look. There'll be a compromise, but some level of fair trade.
Dave, 80% of the cargo ships coming over from China now are empty. Ships coming back to this country on the Western ports, 80% of them are empty with no product, because American companies cannot buy Chinese product at 145% tariff.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Correct.
So that is going to crush the GDP of China. Who are they going to turn to sell all this product to right away?
There's nobody that can afford it.
How many
America?
Yeah, right. How many people in Ghana are ordering from Temu?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, exactly. So bottom line, you have to look at that and you have to say the buying power of this country is driving the whole world. Between us buying and us giving away hundreds of billions of dollars of what they say aid, which is, it's bullshit. A lot of it's not aid. A lot of it is just is political conjuring to be able to get different areas to believe in the political strategy of the last 4 years of the Biden administration. I mean, what other country on the planet does this? We are like a sieve. We are eating. You know what it is? It's like we're eating 30 days. What was that guy who did the series of McDonald's? He ate 30 days McDonald's meals. Supersize me. We are the supersize me. Yeah, we are the supersize me guy. We are eating fast food in one end by buying everything from China and all the other countries, and we're shitting it out on the back end, and we're just depositing money all over the rest of the world, supporting everyone's policies.
That's a great analogy. Yeah. That's a great analogy. Well, for that's another banner episode of Rebel Republic.
That's a wrap.
Yeah. It's a wrap.
I had one more bourbon.
I know you did. Bourbon. I know you did. Dave's still mad at me for the Billy the Liquor podcast because I didn't ask the right questions and I bored everyone. So
yeah.
So
that was all good, Steve. You did a great job at leading me in it so I could know about Billy's fourth grade education.
I'm doing what I was told.
Guy was an undercover agent.
I'm trying to make us all money.
Day of work as the garbage. Can you talk?
I'm trying to make us all money.
He was an undercover agent.
Day of work.
Dave, he was doing lines of cocaine off strippers' asses, trying to play the undercover game to buy illegal tobacco, firearms, and alcohol.
Episodes to talk about all that stuff.
And Steve wanted to know what type of trash bins he was emptying from the local trash truck
we have
around.
We have three episodes.
They leave cigarettes in the trash.
You guys are assholes. I'm trying to get us all money, and you're laughing.
Yes, I know. Just like the Worcester station that we do the show for, and
I've sent money to you. I've given money to Frank.
The grants come in The grant's coming.
My kids going to U of R. Steve's funding it. Hey, listen,
We are getting
do you know what they
in
call
July.
Do you know what they call cigarettes in England?
What?
Bags.
Good.
Fag.
Thank you.
Really?
Thank you.
They do. Yeah. That's a slang.
I have a check for Frank that I will give him
Yep.
to cash.
It's like it's got Spalding. It has Spalding written on the front of it.
And I
bounce like a basketball.
I sent Dave money 2 weeks ago.
Yep. Here it comes.
I said I barely get enough money. I send whatever I can to you guys.
Send me money that you don't get. What I was saying is, you're saying that money is coming in from some grant. You know, maybe I should just apply for the grant myself.
It's from his long lost relative Umbuke Cully from Nigeria.
It is from
$10 million.
Oh yes, I got an email about that the other day.
Just send me $10,000 check.
Yes. Well, thank you.
Uwe Cully. Uwe Cully from Uganda.
Uwe won't come on this show.
I don't blame him. I wouldn't come. I wouldn't either.
Actually, people bravely came on last week. They bravely came on.
April 2nd.
Were they liberals who came on and took my spot?
Yes.
Really?
Larson was pretty good.
Brought libs on.
Larson wasn't very liberal.
No, he's not.
Larson was good. He made good points.
Was he always kind of middle of the road, or was he more?
No, he's very left. He was in the military, but he was in the military, so he's more middle of the road than his uncle is.
Well, that's not the guy we had before, is it? Whose father's a politician?
Yes.
Oh, he came back on. He's a good dude.
He's a principal. He talked about because of the stabbing in Texas.
Yes,
I had him on, and he said he personally greets every student every day at his school, which I think is awesome. And he says that the doors at his school have to be closed and locked.
Yeah, that's every
for security purposes.
Makes sense.
And their resource offices.
Erica Hansen.
Erica Higgins. Yeah, Erica had a best friend who was a victim lost her child at Sandy Hook.
Is that who we had on a few? We had
Erica
she was good
came
too. She was good.
She is conservative. She just doesn't like Trump.
She's physically conservative.
She's conservative. She doesn't like Trump.
Yeah, no, I liked her. I liked her a lot. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I think we would get along.
Yeah, you would.
How old is she? How old is she?
She's my age. She dated the kicker.
40. What are you? 40.
42.
42?
Yeah. She's married, right?
She's married. Yeah.
She's married.
Yeah. Their husband's a good guy.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He's in my wheelhouse.
Yeah. She is for sure. So, for Banner Rebel Republic, the coach, Schumann, Frank Cristiano, voice of reason.
Yeah, of course. That's who I am.
Yeah.
What was your elementary school, Steve?
E.R. Hughes.
I went to Miles Elementary.
You were
School,
a Miles
where
kid?
we all touched each other.
Oh my God!
Yeah. I was touched.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Yep, I was touched by my gym teacher. Yes,
I'm sure you were.
So,
Mr. Wells?
No, Mr. Wells didn't teach elementary school.
God.
He was a junior high.
Thank God.
So, Dave, just remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges, throw them right back at life.
Way to speed it up.
Oh, great job. Great job.